like it is. Today we have an amazing guest, Shelleen Weaver. This girl is on fire for the Lord. She's going to play some worship for you right now.
I see you clearly when it's raining, not when the sun warms the skies. And I can hear what you're saying. You whisper softly in the night, saying you'll be alright. You touch each tear as it's falling, them in your jars. You say, hang on, child, till the morning, when you'll be dancing in my arms, and that it won't be long. So look at me, I'm in the storm. Don't despise what you feels like. Oh, 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 I am watering the mustard seed you've sown. Rise in faith and take my hand. Take a claim, this is your land, and my promises are yes and amen. You say, don't worry, I'm your father. You say, I am your all in all. You say, there's healing in the water. You say, absorb the rays that fall. I am here, be calm. And look at me, I'm in the storm. Don't despise what you feels like. Oh, 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 I am watering the mustard seed you've sown. Rise in faith and take my hand. Stake a claim, this is your land, and my promises are yes and amen. Rejoice, my plans are beautiful. Relax, I'm in control. Your recompense is bound to fall. We're gonna plunder what he stole. So look at me, I'm in the storm. Don't despise what feels like. Oh, 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 I am watering the mustard seed you've sown. Rise in faith and take my hand. Stake a claim, this is your land, and my promises are yes and amen. My promises are yes, amen. You are my child and I'm your friend. Look up, redemption is at hand. 'Cause my promises are yes, amen.
So good. Shelleen, your worship was so amazing. I love your voice. It's so different. I can tell you're on fire for the Lord. And I love this CD, Shelleen Rough Tracks. The back, where did you come up with this idea to do railroad tracks?
The songs actually came out of a really difficult time in my life, and so it's kind of a play on words because they were rough tracks that brought the music out of me because I'd never sung before I started recording. I'd never soloed in my church, and I was recording that album.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did you grow up in church?
Yeah. Yeah, but I did sing in the choir. I sat in the soprano section, which is where you sit if you don't read music, because that's the melody, and I was a cheater.
They
I didn't even
stuck
know
me
it.
in there for that.
But I don't read music, and I don't really play anything. I'm like Animal on the drums, like me on the piano. I just bang on it and figure stuff out. And
well,
so
there's an anointing there.
Thank you. You don't have to be a musician to be a worshiper, and that's the reality. So, yeah. So it's a pun because it was the difficult circumstances that I began to worship. When I was a kid, I wrote poetry. Okay. When I was emotional, people journal. Mine just rhymed.
Okay.
And I went through a really difficult season of my life where the entire rug just ripped right out, and I'm finding myself on the floor going, what does my life look like now? Yeah. And during that season, I had an old piano that I inherited from my grandmother with lots of broken keys, and badly out of tune, and I just began to sit down there, and the poetry morphed during that season into songs that went on that album.
It just came out.
In about a year and a half, I wrote like 40 songs.
That's
they were just pouring.
Unbelievable. Yeah. You know, sometimes it's in our hurt and in our seasons, and I think you agree with me, Shelleen. It's when we're in the valley, when we are faced with trials, that we either we can quit or we can turn to our God. And you obviously must have had an encounter. You know, tell me, which one is your favorite song on here?
They're kind of like your children, so
it's hard to tell me. I know it's hard.
But there's a song on there called Love Song that I wrote 3 days into the rug rip out, and it's such a telling song because it is not a song of anger. I have my angry songs on there. I believe, you know, be angry and sin not. Anger's not a sin. It's how you deal with it.
That's right.
And you can be honest with God. You know, you look at the Psalms and you see David. Look at the words in some of those Psalms. He was not singing in opera, you know, like somewhere in a field. I'm like, I think his heart was turned sideways and he was slamming on it because he was letting God know truthfully how he felt. And we can be that honest with
He was frustrated.
He was.
Yeah.
And so it's okay to be angry. So there is an angry song in there, but Love Song is so telling how good the Lord was to me and how he showed up, because 3 days into life change like that, he met me so tenderly, and that song came out of it. And so you know, I learned so much through that season because I learned like it's okay to vent, but I also learned the power of worship in our pain.
That's good.
There's so much power in it. And so it just became my place where I would sit down, because I'd never soloed in public, and I don't have a typical voice, and I didn't know if people would really like it, and I didn't even really have plans to share. But quite a long story short, my best friend ran her chops, and I was asked to sing somewhere, and I just felt very compelled. And I said yes, while my brain was going, what?
And you just
and
stepped
I just
into
stood up in
it.
front of 80 women I'd never met before, and played a song on the keyboard, and I don't play. And sang the song, and it was a declaration of faith. That song's not on the album, but it was taken off of out of Psalms, where it says, and yet I'm confident this, I will yet see the goodness of the Lord in the land of living. Because you come to a point in time where you just say, okay, do I believe everything I've said I believe all my life, or were those just like my little Sunday school lessons? You know, am I and so I was making a declaration of faith, really, because nothing felt good here and now, which is the land of the living. But yet I am confident.
Well, I think worship is so big, and I really encourage, you know, I've got one of these, my kid turned me on to this Alexa and the smart home and all that. So on my kitchen counter, we have Alexa, and I love it because I can just say, Alexa, play worship. And no matter what I'm going through, and maybe you've felt this way, I know that music affects me. It affects my mood, it affects everything. But when I can turn to God and we can lift up his name, I mean, it's just the best thing ever. And I know, I can't tell everybody your projects, but I know you have some projects, some writing projects coming ahead. And we're going to bring you back on when that comes out, because I have the inside scoop on it. It's amazing. But where can people find this if they want to follow your music?
The best place to go is just straight to my website, which is www.hiswordweaver.com. Little play on words there, Shelleen Weaver.
Good.
So His Word Weaver.
I love it.
I have a blog there, and I've begun to do something. I was kind of forced to blog and then fell in love with it. And I only post them about once a month, because I'm not going to, like, you don't want to know what I ate today.
Right.
I'm just, you know, I'd rather give you something in depth and good and less often. But I still write songs probably like every other week. I write a song, and it's expensive to record, and you're never going to get them all out there. Not all of them are album worthy, but they bless me when God gives them to me. And so I've just kind of gotten over myself in the last year and started playing keys in front of people. and I'm posting those songs on, like, at the end of my what I'm talking about, because it usually coincides with what God's teaching me. And so that's a fun place to go and just hear stuff that may never surface.
I love it.
And be blessed.
I love it. I love the CD. And a little secret, she was actually Miss Teen Pennsylvania. So I'm throwing all your stuff out there. But hey, guys, I want you to get this CD. It'll bless somebody else. It'll bless you. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks for coming with us today, Shelleen. And we just pray God's blessing on your life.
Thank you.